Exterior montage of Walker Mountain, day and night. Scenes of the rural Nova Scotian community of Walker Mountain. Small farms with fields, wood piles and gardens. Folks going to the bank, into the small grocery store. Old men smoking as they sit around an old gas station. The empty farmers' fairgrounds. A dirt road entering a wooded area. There are many kinds of forest. Low, scrubby firs. Light and airy birch. Dark, impenetrable tangles. A homemade paper poster on a telephone pole. Beware the howler. Another paper poster on a different pole. Missing, Cheryl Thorpe. Tires screech, bang, something bulky hits the gravel. Exterior, side of the road, morning. A lady slipper grows in the bushes by the muddy ditch of a dirt road. An empty beer can sits nearby. Large, deep footprints lead out of the forest, through the ditch and up the road, ending in a pool of blood. Drip, drip. Blood drips from a truck bed onto the red pool. Harold, ragged 30s, 40s, quickly covers a large, bleeding body with a tarp and shuts the tailgate. His eyes dart around. This can't be seen. Bloodied tufts of fur peek out from underneath the tarp, hiding the body. The strands that aren't caked in blood dance in the breeze. Black. Title, Fragile Creatures. Insert exterior, the telephone pole. A new paper poster stapled to the old poster for Cheryl Thorpe. Missing, Donald Dunlop.
It's not just Walker Mountain. There were sightings in the 60s in Berwick and in Cole Harbor. Cole Harbor! Imagine! The old people all have crazy stories. Everyone on the res says it's bullshit, but they sell my howler swag. And what does that tell ya?
Insert. A bumper sticker on Terry's car shows a large, hairy man beast chasing a boy. It carries another boy under its giant arm. Both boys are screaming. It's meant to be folksy, but it's terrifying.
Nothing's happening.
Denise, patience. He'll come out eventually.
Interior, Terry's car, a store parking lot, continuous. Denise, 30s, city-raised, tiny, sits in the passenger seat, restless, rummaging through a bag, pulling out her phone, while her brother Terry, late 30s, 40s, plaid jacket, Dickies, steel-toe boots, sits uncomfortably in the driver's seat. They're in the parking lot of a small country corner store. Denise looks down at her phone and frowns. Insert. Denise's phone, social media comments from different users. You're a fucking monster. Die in jail. She's crawled back to her inbred family. Stompin' Denise corners. Can't hide in the sticks forever. Murderer. Denise rubs her forehead. Her life has turned into a complete mess. She notices Terry squirm, trying to get comfortable in his seat. His back is beyond fucked.
Oh my god, just go to the doctor.
Do you got one?
Denise glances down at an unlabeled bottle of pills on the console, along with mostly empty packet of cigarettes.
Did Santa bring you those?
Nodding towards the pills, Terry waves away her question.
Fine, but you gotta see a doctor to claim disability, and it takes time to process.
Less pain in cash. Everyone at the mill gets paid in cash. Understand?
She puts her hand on her forehead again. She's getting a headache.
Jesus fucking Christ. Then he must owe you something.
This job is from him. Why can't you get a job?
Denise frowns. He knows why.
Must be that I'm overqualified.
Denise reads a news story on her phone about the missing man, Donald Dunlop. A section title reads, Walker Mountain locals blame cryptid for disappearances going back decades. There's a photo of Terry's howler bumper sticker on someone's car.
Holy shit! Where'd you find that?
CBC.
Terry likes this news and pulls a bumper sticker from his side door.
Looks like I'll have to print more of these. I should do t-shirts. See the running one? That's Harold Peters, the guy we're waiting for. Prick. When I was 10, he shoved horseshit up my nose at the farmer's fair. This happened later that same night. Just desserts.
Jesus, who's under the arm?
Boyd, Harold's twin. Never found him.
Usually when people go missing, it's because of other people, not Bigfoot.
Terry furrows his brow, watching Denise take one of his last smokes from the console and tuck it behind her ear.
Mom must have told you about the howler?
Denise shrugs.
I don't think so. I was a baby.
Terry ruminates on this.
Okay, but she must have said something when you were older.
Denise is evasive.
She didn't really talk a lot about Walker Mountain, though she did miss the lady slippers. She said they represented resilience. I haven't seen any since I got back.
Terry grabs one of his smokes and lights it, hurt by what he's hearing.
Resilience. So I guess that's how she saw herself, in recovery?
Denise senses she's offended Terry, but is not sure how.
I don't know, maybe she was complicated.
Later, Denise and Terry sit at a picnic table. Denise is smoking the cigarette she took from Terry. Her bag sits next to her. She notices a man in a ball cap and a woman staring at her from across the parking lot. They whisper something to each other. Denise checks the time, restless.
Just so you know, Dad still thinks you work at the mill. I don't like lying to him. I'm just getting to know him and...
What'd you tell him?
Nothing. I said I'd give you this for the mill, workplace safety.
Denise retrieves from her bag a whistle with Terry written on it. She drops it into his breast pocket. He shifts, flinching in pain. This continues to annoy her.
I should have told him you don't need it anymore.
She notices the people staring at her again. She stands, flicks away her cigarette, and shouts at the looky-loos.
Do you dickless fucks have something to say?
The alarmed gawkers whisper amongst themselves.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph, Denise. You gotta chill out. This is a small place and people are starting to call you Stomp and Tom.
What's that even supposed to mean? Fuck.
Harold Peters' truck drives by on the road. Cardboard and garbage bags cover damage on the front left side light and bumper. Terry's eyes follow with great interest. Denise notices.
What is that him?
Terry grabs his phone and texts someone.
Yep.
Finally. Now what?
Terry's car moments later. Terry drives while fumbling with his phone, terrified by this reckless behavior. Denise grabs it while it dials.
Hold it to my ear, but don't say anything, seriously.
Instead, Denise pushes the speakerphone icon and holds the phone between them. A gruff male voice, Les, answers.
Yeah.
I just saw Harold going out to town. His fender is fucked, so he definitely hit something.
Pause.
Am I on speakerphone?
Terry looks at Denise.
Yeah, I'm driving. It's not safe to drive and hold phones.
Well, that's very cautious, Terry. How long until I know?
5-10 minutes? What do I do if it's in there?
He looks at Denise to gauge her reaction. She's listening closely.
You take it, you idiot, and you bring it to the mill. Don't worry, you'll get your cut, and we'll consider that other thing taken care of.
Terry can't help but glance down at the bottle of pills.
I'd sure appreciate that, Les.
All right, so you're good. Or do I need to call someone else?
No, man, I'm good.
And no one else knows, especially your sister. She's a liability if I've ever seen one.
Denise rolls her eyes and bars her teeth like a wolf.
Don't worry, I've got this.
Forest, later. Denise and Terry trudge through the woods. Terry holds a small crowbar and a ski mask. His walk is labored and he often winces in pain.
So, do you always do stuff like this for him?
It pays good. You'll see.
Did he ever say who saw this guy hit the Bigfoot?
Terry ignores her condescending question.
It's not Bigfoot. Mom really never said anything about the howler.
Why are you so hung up on this?
Because it happened to us. Sure, you were a baby, but you were there. We'd hear it out in the woods, just like the old folks used to talk about. Mom heard it. And then, after she left, I waited for her to come back and save me. I packed a bag and everything, but she didn't even call. And when Boyd went missing, nothing. He was in my grade. We had the same haircut. But apparently, she only cared about the goddamn lady slippers. Well, joke's on her. She's dead. And you're back here trying to act like you know what the hell is going on, and you don't know shit.
Denise swallows her rage.
Listen, Terry. Yes, Mom was a huge cunt. Believe me, I know. A star could explode, aliens could descend, Jesus could touch her face, and she'd only see herself. I get it, but don't let that distract you from what's going on, because something's seriously fucked here. Say it's all real. If I'm Harold Peters and I have proof the howler is real, why am I not telling someone? Right now, everyone thinks I'm nuts. Maybe I killed my brother. Why hide it in a shed?
He probably thinks folks will try to take it. I mean, we are. He's also a drunk, so how about this? You watch the road and call me if you see anything coming. If it's in there, I'll call you. We'll drag it into the woods and come back and get it later with the car. If it isn't, we bolt, and fine, I'm an idiot. Does that sound like a safe plan?
Denise watches Terry struggling to walk.
What if we can't carry it?
Then we get a chunk of it. You gotta remember, any little bit will be worth it.
Harold's yard, moments later. Denise and Terry exit to the woods by Harold's humble house. Looking at Denise, Terry worries that maybe this isn't a good idea after all. She looks impatient.
Well?
Terry smirks.
Nothing. Don't go anywhere.
He pulls his ski mask down and creeps around the house to the backyard. Denise steps into the woods, her foot narrowly missing a coyote trap. Back of Harold's house. The backyard is circled with forest. A little wooden shed sits at the left edge. Terry surveys the scene before approaching the shed. He presses his ear to the wall to listen. Nothing. He peeks in the window. It's dark, but we can see a tarp covering something on the floor. A patch of bloodied, messy fur glimmers in a sunbeam. Woods by Harold's yard. Denise hides behind a tree, watching the driveway and road. She nervously checks her phone. She looks down by her feet and sees a lady slipper. She snaps a picture and inspects the result. Not bad. Back of Harold's house. After inspecting the bulky lock by the door, Terry pries it off with a crowbar. Crack. Slipping, Terry gasps in pain, stumbling, gripping his back. He drops the crowbar against the door frame and staggers for support. He doesn't take notice of the coyote trap nestled in the grass, lying in wait. Shed. The door grinds as Terry opens it, bathing the interior with light. He gags at a smell, tearing the ski mask off his face. He swears and wipes the dripping saliva from his mouth. The tarp hides something, and there's a creeping uncanniness as Terry gingerly lifts it, peeking underneath. He gasps, seeing a bloodied human being, Donald Dunlop, wearing a green jacket with a hood lined with muddy fur.
Donald? Are you alive? Oh no, Terry.
Woods by Harold's yard. Denise's phone buzzes, startling her. As she reads the message, Harold's truck enters the backyard unnoticed. Terry's text. I need your help now.
No fucking way.
They've found the howler, she thinks. She texts back, amazing. Hearing Harold's truck, she swears and ducks down, calling Terry. Back of Harold's house. Exiting the shed, Terry's phone vibrates in his hand. He turns towards the driveway and sees Harold's truck. He jumps back in the shed and pulls the door shut. Creak. Except the door isn't shut. It bounces off the leaning crowbar, leaving it ajar. Terry is unaware. The crowbar slips, falling into the grass by the coyote trap. Harold's yard. Harold steps out of his truck, holding a pharmacy bag. He's agitated, paranoid. He takes a deep drink from a pint of black rum before tossing it into the truck seat. He spits on the dirt. Denise gets a text from Terry. Terry's text. Can't leave shed. Denise sucks her teeth and swears silently as she watches Harold continue towards the backyard, towards the shed and Terry. What can she do? Harold almost reaches the shed when...
Hi, sorry.
Harold's soul leaves his body. He turns quickly, dropping the plastic bag, bandages, painkillers, and disinfectants, which spill on the ground.
Jesus Christ! Oh, Christ. I think I shit myself.
Denise steps out of the woods and walks towards him, her hands up in apology. She's puzzled by the bandages, but tries to play it cool. Harold's eyes dart from the shed to the bandages to Denise. She plays it dumb.
Oh, God, I hope not. I'm so sorry. I'm not threatening, I swear. I was out taking pictures of the lady slippers and got a little turned around. I can't find my car.
She is again puzzled by the meaning of the bandages.
Are you hurt? I know first aid.
No. Just restocking. Lady slippers, you say? And by my house?
I know what it looks like. I'm just taking pictures of flowers. Scout's honor. See?
As she explains, she pulls out her phone and brought up the photo of the lady slipper she took earlier. It's too far for Harold to see. He waves it away.
This is so humiliating, but would you mind helping me find where the hell my car is? It's up there somewhere, but I guess I'm directionally challenged.
Harold considers his options before stepping away from the shed.
Right this way.
So far, everyone likes the way things are going. Harold gets rid of Denise gets Harold away from the backyard and Terry. But Harold has a look of paranoia.
So I didn't get your name.
Me? Right, of course. I'm Denise. My father's Frank Connors. You wouldn't remember me. I grew up in the city. I don't have my bearings yet. I guess. And you are?
They shake hands, but he ignores the question.
Very interesting. You're Fairy Terry's long-lost sister from the big city, eh? Isn't that something? And you're already a Walker Mountain legend.
Yeah, it seems so. And the real story is, she fell. That's the real story. No stomping, no assaulting. Her dog did bite me, but I didn't touch her. She fell, and it sucked. And it ruined my life, but I was cleared, and all charges were dropped. Not that anyone gives a shit about that part.
Harold is silent for a moment.
You know what's really interesting? I'm pretty sure Terry was here last week. I wasn't here, but my old chainsaw seemed to grow legs and wander off. A little bird told me it was him. Quite a coincidence, isn't it? What do you think you Connors keep showing up when I'm not here?
Sounds a little paranoid if you ask me.
Creak. As though on cue, the breeze slowly pushes the shed door open. Denise and Harold share a look.
You lying bitch. What did you do?
Harold stomps towards the shed with Denise closely behind. Denise needs to stop him. How? She has no time to think.
Harold, wait. Look, I already know what's in there.
Harold freezes. He's lightheaded. The breeze slowly pushes the door shut again. Creak. The shed. Terry faces the closed door, waiting to get caught. The tarp crinkles. There's movement. Groans come from Donald Dunlop. Holy shit, he's alive. We can see Donald is badly hurt. Terry quickly shushes him, pleads with him to be quiet, to not move, not attract attention, or hurt himself more, but Donald is delirious, dying. Donald struggles to stand, semi-responsive to Terry's instructions. He mumbles about getting away, getting hit by a truck. Harold's yard. Denise musters all the confidence she can.
And I'm not the only person who knows. Right now, others are on their way, but I can offer something they can't. Cash. Lots of cash. We just gotta take that body to the mill. You can come too. Don't you want people to know the truth? That's better than keeping it in the shed, right?
This gamble did not pay off. Harold turns and looks at Denise with profound confusion, panic, frustration. He rushes to the shed door handle, but then hesitates, seeing the broken lock and hearing movement from inside. There's a howl, loud commotion, smashing. Terry rushes towards the shed too, thinking the howler is alive and killing Terry. But before she can open the door herself, Harold grabs her shoulder and, in an act of desperation, punches her in the nose. She lands on her ass, grasping her bloody nose.
Dick.
The door bursts open as Terry is shoved out in Donald's struggle to escape. Terry falls onto Harold, sending Harold, Terry, and Terry's phone crashing to the ground. Terry bellows in pain when he lands hard. His back is busted. Harold hits the ground face first. Denise scrambles to her feet, bloody nose, wild eyes. Terry crawls in agony towards the crowbar on the grass by the shed. In reaching for it, he places his right hand directly into the coyote trap. Clamp. Terry screams, fingers gnashed. Denise also screams, involuntarily, at the something emerging from the doorway in shambles, blood running from unseen, reopened wounds. She now sees it's Donald Dunlop. Denise raises her hands over her bloodied mouth and takes a step back.
What the fuck? Is that a human being?
Donald stumbles into the trees to escape, but it's too much for him. He collapses into some bushes. He doesn't move again. Speechless, Denise glances from Terry to Harold as the latter starts to stand. Everything has changed for her. There's an open wound on Harold's forehead. Blood spreads down over his face like a red mask. He's winded and stunned.
Run!
Don't you run!
Denise stays frozen, humming. Terry thrashes through his back pain towards the center of the yard, grasping at the trap on his hand. Harold approaches him. Terry puts his hands up to guard his face. Harold scoffs bitterly and removes the trap. Terry can barely move. Denise takes a step towards Terry to help him.
Stop fucking moving. Stop!
Sorry.
Very long pause. Everyone is wondering what to do.
Donald wears those dark clothes at night. People can't see in the dark on the road. You know what I'm talking about? He's picking cans and doesn't look where he's going. I saved his life once, and he was getting better. But now he'll die because of you.
Terry's phone vibrates on the ground. All look towards it. Harold picks it up, reads the notification, frowns, and puts the phone in his back pocket.
So what'd Les tell you?
Terry stays quiet, looking down.
He said you hit the howler and he was paying us to check it out. It ain't here, so anything else is not our business. We didn't see anything. Come on. Terry, let's go.
Terry shifts gingerly to stand up, but Harold calmly, firmly places a hand on his shoulder. Stay, he says to Terry.
The howler. And you take that away from me, too.
Harold chuckles bitterly and takes in his situation. He draws back a deep breath and holds it, pauses before a long, growling groan.
Why do you keep doing this to me? Those fucking stickers with Boyd. You sick fuck. The Howler. The Howler. God, it never stops. And the stealing. And now him.
He gestures toward Donald in the woods. A sad and cruel look has come over Harold's bloody, gravel-crusted face.
What am I gonna do to you?
Harold touches the wound on his forehead and looks at the blood on his fingers. Denise and Terry share dire looks. She looks desperate to the point of panic. Terry's face screams, "Don't leave me." But she does. After a pained look and unspoken apology, she bolts into the woods behind the shed. Her foot lands in the grass right where the trap would have been, her foot gently striking the crowbar. Both men are stunned for a moment before Harold lunges after her. Shouting in pain, Terry grabs Harold's leg from the ground, just long enough for Denise to disappear into the trees. Harold boots Terry in the face, knocking him back down before shouting in frustration.
Fuck! Why?
Harold's concern shifts between peering into the woods where Denise disappeared and keeping Terry from leaving.
Our mama's like this. Let me talk to her. We can figure this out. Come on, let me talk to her.
Harold slowly approaches him after retrieving a wrench from the shed.
I left a brother behind once. His face looked a lot like yours, but he was screaming more.
Terry glimpses Denise sneaking around from behind the shed, picking up the crowbar, but Terry is out of time.
Come on, let me talk to her. Just wait. Let me talk to her. Hey, stop!
Smack. The wrench hits Terry on the head. He falls backwards, semi-conscious. Harold stumbles. Groaning and wobbling, Terry clumsily pulls the whistle out of his breast pocket and blows it feebly over and over. Harold grabs it from him.
You'll have to blow harder than that, bud.
As he speaks, Harold prepares the next blow. But the whistle was enough cover for Denise to run up behind Harold and hit him with the crowbar. He may have even caught a glimpse of her coming. She hits him so hard the follow-through pulls her over. He hits the ground. Denise raises her foot to stomp. In the midst of her wild shout, as her foot rushes down towards Harold's face, we cut to Harold's yard, the pulpy flesh of a lady slipper. It grows next to where Donald Dunlop's head rests, face down. Denise puts the crowbar in his hand. She rushes out from the trees towards Harold's body and Terry, who sits in a pile, red and barely conscious.
It'll look like they did it to each other.
She retrieves Terry's cell phone from Harold's back pocket where he lay, his left arm tucked under his body. Blood saturates the gravel around his smashed head.
Denise? I thought you left me for a second there.
She's worried. He struggles to stand but can't get to his feet, even with her help. Wobbling, he sits.
I should have.
We watch Terry start to lose consciousness.
Hey, Terry, listen. Stay awake, okay? We gotta go. We're going to outpatients. Hey, stay awake. You're gonna tell them you fell down the back hill and you landed on the rock pile. Okay? You fell in the rock pile, Terry. Hey, I'm gonna get you to the car. Stay awake. I'll be right back.
Her feet scrape the gravel as she runs up the driveway. We look down at Harold's body, down where his bloodied hair meets the dirt. Tucked underneath his chest, his loose fist claps one forgotten piece of evidence, the whistle with Terry written on it. We look out into the trees where Donald disappeared. Just out of focus, we see a patch of darkness. It could be a shadow. It could be something watching in silence.
And scene.